Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. My name is Nick Park, and I'm taking us through a series of messages on the great prayers of the Old Testament. And we're seeing how God took his people on this journey of prayer where they learned to lean upon him and trust him. And I believe God is taking us on a similar journey in our lifetimes, and that these insights of prayer from the Old Testament can equip us and help us in our journey of prayer. Now, yesterday we were looking at Elisha, and we saw how he had to pray for a young man's eyes to be opened, that he would see circumstances differently. And you know, just in the very next couple of verses, Elisha then does the exact opposite. Instead of praying for someone's eyes to be opened, he prays for their eyes to be closed, because there was this Syrian army that had come against them, was surrounding him and his servant in Dothan. And it says in verse 18, as the enemy came down toward him, Elisha prayed to the Lord, strike this army with blindness. So God struck them with blindness as Elisha had asked. And Elisha told them, this is not the road and this is not the city. Follow me and I will lead you to the man you are looking for. And he led them to Samaria, the capital city of the northern kingdom of Israel. And after they entered the city, Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of these men so they can see. And then the Lord opened their eyes and they looked, and there they were inside Samaria. And actually at that point, the king of Israel said, oh, man of God, you've delivered my enemy into my hands. Will I kill them? Will I kill them? And Elisha says, no, you won't. He said, you've not captured these people by the power of your sword. This is something the Lord has done. So feed them, treat them well, and then let them go. And that's exactly what the king did. And we're told that as a result, the Syrians no longer sent up raiding parties against Israel anymore. The kindness that he showed whenever these men, blind as a bat, wandered right into the heart of the capital city under the noses of all the Israelite army, the kindness that he showed basically touched the king of Syria in a way that harsh retribution never would have done so. And God therefore turned war into peace. But it's very significant what God did here. He blinded the enemies. So not blind them in order to destroy them or annihilate them, but he blinded the enemies so that he could shelter and hide his beloved prophet from them. You know, there are times whenever we feel threatened. There are times whenever there seems to be enemies on every side. There are times when this world appears to be wicked and going against the things of God more and more. And we wonder, Lord, how are we going to keep on doing the things that we want to keep doing for you and what we're called to do? Sometimes we need to pray for God to blind the eyes of our enemies. You know, I have prayed that prayer before. I'm thinking particularly of when I've ministered in some closed countries where it's forbidden to preach the gospel and where the church is operating in secret, what we call underground churches. I know what it is to be followed by the secret police in some of those places who were onto what we were doing and were trying to catch us in the act of sharing the gospel with people. And I would pray that prayer and I would say, Lord, blind their eyes. And it was amazing how these people who were, they were trained secret police, they're used to following people, and yet they would lose sight of us. You know, we're driving on a plain road, they can see us, you know, we're not hiding it, we're in full sight. And yet God somehow hid us and they managed to lose us when they were following us. Why? Because God will still temporarily blind the eyes of our enemies, not in hatred, not to destroy, but to protect his loved ones. And I pray that today, if you're feeling under threat, I pray that God will blind the eyes of your enemies so that you will be secure and you will be protected, and God will bring you through to a good outcome in Jesus' name. May God bless you, and join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.